Two superspeedways. Similar in banking. Similar in speeds. But two completely different stories. With a win at Daytona, a youngster overcame typical superspeedway obstacles to come out victorious.
James Busher, he'll win at Daytona.
Winning at a superspeedway can be a daunting task.
Unbelievable, really, that we won this race.
It took 9-time champion Frank Kimmel 16 long years. With only 3 races down and Daytona a distant memory, a new superspeedway lurks in the shadows, waiting for only one driver to step into the bright lights of victory lane.
For the 48th time, the ARCA Remax Series will take the green flag at Talladega Superspeedway. Today it's the ARCA Remax 250 from Talladega, Alabama, the 4th race of the 2009 season. A gorgeous afternoon here in the Alabama area, 86 degrees, partly cloudy. I actually don't see too many clouds in the area, so I think we are in great shape for a wonderful race this afternoon. Take a look at our race analysis as you see the cars running around the racetrack. This one has an interesting storyline. 41 cars will start. It's 250 miles, 94 laps.
Yeah, the key is right there, as you can see, Rick, the pit road speed's 55 miles an hour, but the pit window, 45 to 55, which means you could potentially make this race on one pit stop.
Our Remax starting grid will roll across the top of the screen. The important thing to see there, starting with his first pole, the number 1 of Tom Hessert will lead the field to the green flag today. Craig Ghost will be on the outside of row number 1.
Tom Hessert actually sat on the front row, on the outside of the front row last year for this race, so that was an indication of better things to come.
Our Menards Pole Award presented by Ansel goes to Tom Hessert. Congratulations to him, adding his name to the list of drivers who have won a pole in the 2009 season. We want to take a look at that at our season pole awards presented by Menards, and a name at the mid-pack there, Ken Schrader on that list. We see Justin Lofton a couple times, and since Ken won the pole at Rockingham, what better way to congratulate him than bring him up here in the booth? So we've got Ken Schrader.
Is that what it was? Congratulations?
Well, I'd like to be down there, but boy, it's just an honor to be congratulated by you.
We are going to ride along with 2 different cars today, one of those being Tim George in the number 2. He'll start in the 25th starting position. We'll see if he can make his way up toward the front.
We're also going to ride along with a 9-time series champion, the Ansel Menards, on board of Frank Kimmel. A new Roush, ex-Roush car for Frank Kimmel here, starting 13th.
We'll see how those 2 cars do as they'll work their way up through the field. Again, the field rolling around the racetrack, about to get underway here at Talladega. 2 drivers in the field that have won at this racetrack before. It is the 5, starting back in the 5th position, I believe, also. Our pit reporters Jim Trado and Wendy Venerini. Talking about Bobby Gerhart in the number 5 and that 44 of Frank Kimmel.
Bobby's only won here 5 times.
No, he's only won here 1 time. He won at Daytona 5 times.
Yeah, 6, but 6 overall restrictor plate wins.
6 super speedway wins. Let's see if he can make it 7 or maybe 2 today. Green flag in the air. We're underway with the ARCA Remax 250. Craig Ghost with a great start.
Got a couple teammates ganging up on the outside. Craig Ghost has his teammate Justin Lofton right behind him. Now Craig's going to pull down to the bottom of the racetrack in front of Tom Hessert.
This is a racetrack where you'll see plenty of nose to tail, and right now Tom Hessert trying to get a little help from the car behind him as Craig Ghost jumped out to a good lead, but he'll get reeled right back in.
Yeah, you cannot get away from anybody with these cars, with this restrictor plate racing, can you, Kenny?
No, they just stay in a pile. You run as fast as the cars around you. You got to have one behind you to push you, and you got to have someone up in front to break the air.
Right now Craig Ghost decides to stay on the top side of the racetrack. That allows Tom Hessert to come down with Kelly Byers just behind him. Kelly Byers driving that race car that actually won at Daytona earlier this year with James Buescher behind the wheel.
Yeah, Kelly Byers is a great race car driver. Found himself without a regular ride this year. Kevin Harvick tabbed him to put him in his nationwide car at Nashville just a couple of weeks ago, Wendy, and he had a top 5 finish with it.
Yeah, Kelly Byers, a household name in the Nationwide Series, today making his first ARCA start of 2009 here at Talladega. Kelly has raced with us in the ARCA Remax Series in the past. Back in 2006, he finished 4th here at Talladega, racing for our very own Kenny Schrader. On the pit box, his veteran crew chief, Mike Chaffee. And on top of that spotter stand, Tab Boyd, a veteran spotter, which is very important here at Talladega.
You know, ARCA had about a 45-minute final practice this morning. Even though the cars weren't pounded, there were very few adjustments that could be made after that practice. And it's amazing. I was listening to a couple, 3 different drivers, how much the spotters talk around here, just about all the way around the racetrack.
The spotter, you know, they go up there and you take a couple extra batteries, the spotters do, because they've got the button down on the radio all the time talking. And, you know, right now the guys are doing a good job. We see them just too wide. But when it gets a little later in the race and they say 10 to go, that's when they fan out and we see 3, 4, and sometimes 5 wide racing. I was talking with Mark Martin earlier about that day and said, what's so nice about Daytona? Basically, you just count on 3 wide. You know, and here, you know, 3 wide you can keep track of, just yourself as a driver. But when they get 4 and 5 wide, you need someone else telling you.
We see the double yellow line once again on the bottom of the racetrack. That is off bounds. You cannot go below the yellow line and advance your position.
Or some of us would say it's out of bounds.
What did I say?
Off bounds.
Oh, yeah, well, out of bounds, too. I would go out of bounds.
Yeah. Most of the time in our sport, if you go out of bounds the inside, you just go to the back of the line. You go out of bounds on the outside, you're not coming back anyway.
That wall kind of brings you back. So Tom Hessert continuing to lead. Kelly Byers right behind him. We're seeing 2 distinct lines now, one forming on the outside.
Tom Hessert, his best career finish was the 5th last year at Toledo.
Whoa, smoke coming out of the 4 back there. Ken Weaver looks like he might have an engine expiring on him. A lot of smoke.
Yeah, wow. Caution flag is out, obviously.
First caution comes out. You see what happens when you exhaust the motor here at Talladega. The white smoke billowing out of that car.
Yeah, it's coming out of the pipes too, up on the right side. So I'd say it is an internal engine problem and not just a line or something like that.
That's about as much smoke as you'll see out of a blown engine, isn't it?
Yeah, you see what a good job he did of getting out of the groove and getting up at top of the racetrack.
Yeah, as soon as he got the clear down below, he went down to the apron and brought that race car back into the garage area. He's on pit road. He'll make the hard left turn. Our first caution has come out. It's Ken Weaver bringing this one out. Speed's coverage of the ARCA Remax Series is brought to you by Remax. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. By Menards. Save big money at Menards. And by Ansel Protective Products. For over 100 years, the world leader in hand protection. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Our first caution has come out. The engine expired on the 4 of Ken Weaver. He took a hard left turn, went back into the garage. There are some issues away from that 4. One of those being the 5 of Bobby Gerhart. His side window, which is required at Talladega, came out.
Yeah, he will be brought back down pit road. He has been black flagged, and he will have to come down pit road, have to give up that top 5 running position right now and come to pit road. And Kenny, you were saying just a couple hours ago that all the cars had to take the side windows out of them.
When the cars were lined up in the ARCA garage, they made an announcement for one representative crew member from each team. Go to their car, they pulled out the right side window, and they checked the race safety device, the light that lights up when the yellow comes out. And then you have to put the back window in, the window back in. You have to make sure it's snapped. And I'm thinking,
now, Kenny, in a car specific to this racetrack, normally these are pretty universal and you can fit a side window in.
Well,
but these are a little different, aren't they?
This side window, if they don't have a spare side window for that car in their pit, now the Cup teams would for sure.
Right.
But if they don't have one for that car in that pit, this is going to be lengthy. It's the right side window, and it's going to be a problem.
There you take a look at the 5 of Bobby Gerhart. Supposed to be a side window there. There is not. He will come onto pit road. The crew will try to get that resolved. We'll be right back with more from Talladega. Tomorrow it's the second race of the season, and the Rolex Sports Car Series brings a little Hollywood to the Virginia International Raceway. Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey, McDreamy, climbs behind the wheel of his GT class sports car and tries to tackle the historic road course. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series live from VIR tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
See the 5 of Bobby Gerhart back on the racetrack, and it does have a side window. These guys were really prepared. As you mentioned, Kenny, during the break, they're Hendrick cars, so more than likely they got all the stuff that came with it. So did not take him hardly any time to get that side window put in. And they were ready for him. Watch, he comes in, and they're going to just take their time, dump a little fuel in it. Might as well, nothing to lose. And they're going to put the thing in. I'm not. They have a roll of tape, but I'm not even sure they needed the tape.
No.
Jim Trado.
Well, there was only the penalty of coming into pit road to get that window replaced, but the crewman that ran down to get it, it was at full sprint. He got here just in time to zip it out of what looked like a bag they had it in the back of the truck. So he ran to the hauler, ran back here. Literally, as they unzipped it, the crewman went over the wall to put it in the car. So good job by this team. And again, he's looking to lead a lap here. Bobby really wants to lead a lap in the worst way. He's got a long way to go now with that window issue. Wendy?
Patrick Sheltra has been down pit road twice now. He's currently sitting up there with the hood up. The first time on lap 5, they pulled tape because the temps had gotten up to 260, put a little fuel in it. He went back out there. Patrick said the temps were not coming back down. The crew chief wanted to ask him how he was feeling because he didn't sound so good on the radio. He just said it's really, really warm in here. They were checking on the fan to make sure it's going in the right direction, trying to troubleshoot exactly why Patrick Sheltra is running so warm. The hood is down. It looks like they are going to go back out to try and not go a lap down.
Close call when he came down pit road. I believe that was the first time he came down pit road with a 10 of Wayne Peterson.
Buffalo wings and rings on the hood of the 60 this weekend for Patrick Sheltra. Again, Sheltra, one of the drivers that found victory lane already in the 2009 season. He's a first-time winner in the ARCA Re Series earlier this year.
Well, it's nice to get that win out of the way early, isn't it, Kenny?
Any win. They had a little trouble getting hood pins in there. These cars fit. In fact, that hood doesn't look like it's sealed up real good.
Looks like it may not have all the pins in.
So Patrick Sheltra is going to come off of pit road. Still out front. Again, we've only competed in 3 green flag laps before our first caution came out, but it's been all Tom Hessert out front. Right behind him, Kelly Byers.
Okay.
Welcome back to the ARCA Re 250 from Talladega Superspeedway. Again, under our first caution, it's been all Tom Hessert. He started on the pole and has been able to lead every lap up to this point. Kelly Byers just behind him has been giving him a little bit of aid right on the back bumper.
Going to be 1 to go here. If I was any of those cars that made pit stops, I believe I'd come back in now and top off, Kenny.
You're already in the back. Might as well be in the back and full.
Looks like maybe Bobby Gerhart would be the only one to come in.
Jim Trado, what are they talking about on the #1 channel?
Well, Tom Hessert actually led 51 laps here at Talladega last fall, and they think they brought back a brand new, really good piece. Under caution, his crew chief, Dave Leinert, said, you know what, that initial start, I didn't like it. You need to get through those gears faster to get some distance on these guys. I want you to John force it. So we'll see if Tom Hessert listens to his crew chief on the restart as Bobby Gerhart does come down pit road and top off. As you guys pointed out, he's a very, very strong super speedway racer, and indeed he has come down pit road.
So he tops off the #5.
What does John Force have? 3,000, 3,500 horsepower?
No, more like 8,000.
8,000 out with a funny car.
8,000, right? Yes.
Hey, Ken, would a little more horsepower have helped you last week in Rockingham?
Probably would have hurt you, wouldn't it?
Well, I would have probably run out of the little bit of gas I had a little bit earlier, so it probably would have been a little bit worse. But we had a good car. We just didn't have quite enough fuel and had to come in pit road with 2 laps to go.
Yeah. Well, you only led 185 of the 200 laps.
Yeah, well, someone said you had the best car all day. I said, well, we had the best car for 198 laps.
And this one goes 94 today. We'll see if Tom Hessert can stay out front. Again, they'll have to come down pit road at least once. We've had quite a few caution flag laps already at the start of this one. Again, Ken Weaver in the #4 brought our first caution out as his engine expired. And when that happened, a couple other cars were involved in an incident. It looks like it might have happened in the smoke behind him, the 0 and the 00. So Butch Jarvis and Ed Kennedy had some damage to their race cars.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage. More than likely terminal damage. If not terminal, then certainly enough damage that's going to take them out of contention. So tough break for both of those cars. They both had pretty good cars. Saw them out there running this morning in drafting practice, and they both look pretty good.
Pace truck will make the hard left turn. It comes onto pit road, and that means the field back in the hands of Tom Hessert. This racetrack a little more unique. The dog leg right in the middle of the front stretch, not where the start finish line is. It's a little past that elbow in the racetrack. And so as they come through, Tom Hessert back up to speed. Green flag back in the air. Here goes Kelly Byers to the outside.
See those cars on the outside right now just have a little momentum. They were able to get up through the gears a little bit quicker than Tom Hessert.
Justin Lofton in the 6, just behind Kelly Byers. We'll see if those two work together.
Justin finished 3rd at Daytona, the first race this year. See him 3 wide coming off turn 2 back there.
This will be the first lap that Hessert has not led if he's back there in 3rd.
As Craig goes, the 81 going by Mikey Kyle, and the 29, that's Brad Keselowski's car. Brad doing double duty this weekend, running the Nationwide and the Sprint Cup race here at Talladega.
The honorary starter of this race was one of my all-time heroes, and it was Bob Keselowski.
That's right, yeah.
And Bob waved the green flag.
Our Grand Marshal for this race was Bill Venturini. You know why he was the Grand Marshal?
Former champion.
Not only former champion, but he is
all-time fastest qualifier in the ARCA Remax series ever at any racetrack.
That's right. 205 miles an hour on this very racetrack. He wanted me to point that out. He said, yeah, I was a former champion, but I was the fastest. I was the fastest. Field in a single file line now as they're working their way around this 2.66 mile super speedway.
See that bright yellow car. Frank Kimmel has made his way up to the 6th position. We talked about Frank being one of the former winners in this field here. Started back in the 13th position, I think, and has already made his way up to the 6th spot.
Seeing basically half the field there in that single file line. So everybody, I think, you know, Daytona was a little bit of a rough race for, well, no, it was really rough as far as getting the stuff tore up.
Yeah.
So we're seeing everybody kind of stay in line and hopefully waiting towards the end. Here we're looking at out of Frank's car into the back of Bill Baird's car. Looks like everybody's fairly solid.
For this racetrack, when they repaved this thing 2 or 3 years ago, what a difference it made, didn't it, Kenny?
Oh, this thing was really rough. Didn't have the big dips that Daytona has, but it was rough, and now it is really nice. They did a phenomenal job of repaving it.
And to that point, I mean, as we were riding along with Frank Kimmel, you never hear the RPMs go down, really. When you ride along, you can hear them wide open all the way around this racetrack, and it doesn't ever bobble.
You tell everybody comes off that turn, and they real quick go down there to protect that inside, protect that out of bounds. Don't want anybody getting underneath them.
Yeah, the double yellow line is their friend down there. If they know if they get down next to that, nobody's passing them on the inside.
No.
Not without a penalty anyway.
Yeah, go around, go around.
How important is friends early on in a race like this? I mean, at the end, you need help. But in the beginning of this race, do you work to see if you can work with certain cars better than others?
Right now, with everybody in line like that, you can't really tell who you work with the best or not. You have to do that later when you get spread out and you're trying to make up some time. You're not worried about making friends right now, but you don't want to make anybody mad right now.
You don't want to make any enemies.
Yeah, you make all your enemies. Yeah, make all your enemies at the end of the race.
Yeah.
You know.
They'll have a few weeks to, you know, maybe get over.
Get over.
Again, Kelly Byers on the restart took the lead away from Tom Hessert. Wendy Venturini.
Pretty quiet on the radio between all the spotters here with these drivers right now, but the spotter for Kelly Byers is Tab Boyd, and his conversation has been pretty comical. He just says, ride right there, single file, nice and smooth, just like that. That's pretty much the only feedback that spotter has given since Kelly Byers has taken the lead. We did hear from Kelly under caution the last time. He said the car is driving real good, but they do need to pull a windshield tear off. It is awfully dirty out there, he says.
Wow, if it's dirty at lap 15.
Yeah.
And that's a car that's been up front the entire race, not necessarily leading, but up in the top 3 or 4 positions.
And he was ahead of the Ken Weaver when he had the problem, so he didn't pick up any oil there. Yeah, it makes me think it's going to get worse.
Well, I know the spotters will be working extremely hard when the passing begins. They'll say, here comes the 6, or here comes the 1. Be ready. We'll be right back. After some time off, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series gets back on the track as the series blows into the open plains of Kansas. Side-by-side high-speed racing action the way it's supposed to be. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. from Kansas. NASCAR on speed.
When Ron Hornaday got his season going last year, won that race in Kansas, went on to a terrific season and just barely lost that point battle on the very last lap of the year to Johnny Benson.
What a phenomenal points championship that was.
Again, Kelly Byers, Justin Lofton, Tom Hessert, and Allie Owens up in the top 4 right now.
Electrifyingcareers.com. Allie from Daytona Beach, Florida, did a terrific job, had a great qualifying effort. Allie qualified in the 6th spot. You could see she had her best career finish last week at Rockingham, Wendy, when she finished 12th.
Yeah, Allie Owens making her 15th ARCA start here in Talladega today. Now, Allie has a interesting hair color. If you guys have talked to her, she has a streak of hot pink in her hair. That's in honor of her Aunt Penny in Illinois, who is battling breast cancer. She dyed her hair hot pink, much like the colors on her race car back in Daytona. She said she was going to keep the hot pink streak until her aunt overcame the breast cancer. And while I'm on the topic of colors, her toenails were painted with green toenail polish. Her crew chief, Jerry Pitts, an old school crew chief, said the green has got to go. Green is bad luck in racing. He was not happy to see the green toenail polish. She said she's working on Jerry Pitts, but she did remove the green toenail polish for today. Let's head over to Jim Trado.
I have nothing about fashion. I only have an update on Craig Goes as he's in the 8th position. He qualified 2nd in the Eddie Sharp number 81. This team has a very, very strong super speedway program. Heck, they are strong everywhere. But unfortunately for Craig, he's had to switch to the backup ignition box. He said the car was missing and hitting the rev limiter. It felt like a popcorn machine. He went to the 2nd ignition box. They're working on that now. But hanging in the top 10, he was hoping to get more experience, and he was really trying to hope to lead the first couple laps here on Talladega's Super Speedway, his first trip here. Let's go back to Wendy.
Thanks, Jim. Hey, I wanted to ask either Phil or Kenny up in the booth. I know there's a lot of superstitions through the years. It seems like these modern day drivers, they don't believe in those superstitions. We've heard about peanuts. We've heard about the color green. I know my mother back in the day made the crew members cut out the Fruit of the Loom on their underwear labels. Did you guys ever believe in those superstitions, or to this day do you?
Wendy, somehow I missed all that. You know, I grew up in the open wheel deal, and there was a lot of superstitions there. But the green or the 13 or the peanuts or the chicken at the racetrack and that, I didn't have any problem with any of it. I just wasn't very superstitious.
Yeah, I definitely didn't cut any of the labels out of my underwear.
No, I had to wear them too long. I didn't.
I'm just disappointed Kathy's making guys cut the underwear apart. I don't know what's going on over there. Riding along with Frank Kimmel, looking back on his competition.
That's Chase Mattioli in the 04 car. Chase doing a very nice job running 7th right now, and that's the Bobby Hamilton Jr. number 04.
Denny Gill,
chief on that. That's right.
Looking forward now to Bill Baird and that Ken Schrader entry.
Well, prior to last season when Justin Allgaier won the championship, you know, Frank Kimmel had won every championship in this decade.
Yep.
And the only guy that kept him from winning 9 in a row was Bill Baird in 1999.
Right. Bill won championship in 99. Bill's 59 years old right now, and I mean a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. He only runs twice a year, runs Daytona and Talladega, and I swear we got a 25-year-old in that car. He wants to race, and he's always right in the middle of the mix.
He finished up, was it the top 5 here last year?
Oh, at Daytona
last year he was in the top 5.
In a backup car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy Venerini, what have you got?
Well, Bill Baird, who started 9th up to 5th right now, he did try that high line, and he did get some feedback from who? Our very own Kenny Schrader. Kenny, I'm calling you out. We heard you in commercial break talking to Bill Baird on the radio. The high line wasn't working. The bottom looks the best for a majority of these drivers, including Bill Baird.
Well, Wendy, I went to him during the break there, and he just went up to the top, and the yellow came out and actually saved him. And I said, Bill, I don't think I'd try that again. And then we were going back on the air, so I didn't really get to hear what he said. But he knows he needs to be around the bottom right now.
I'm sure it was thanks.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
He may have said something. You do TV, and we'll let me worry about this.
Right.
You know, we saw a big pack start out and separate themselves from the rest of the field, but right now Patrick Shelter is leading about a 5-car pack back up to that front pack.
Yeah, Patrick has a very, very good race car, and he's just about brought that second group of about 4 cars up to this lead pack. You see him right there, the bright green car. Right there is Patrick Shelter.
So he's closing in now on that front pack, and as they spread out, they punch a big hole in the air, and that allows that second pack to catch up to them. Jim Trado.
Just on a point on one driver that really wanted to be up in that lead pack is Mark Thompson. He's back in the 16th position. He brought Venerini Motorsports car here. Of course, that team fresh off the victory at Rockingham, but Thompson wanted to have a better run. He qualified 5th. He led the teams here in practice and testing. However, this morning, the team was the one that led the car to get the motor changed. They found a water leak in the engine, so unfortunately for the 25 of Mark Thompson, he's had to come from the back of the field. He's now currently the quickest climber up the pylon to 16th, but Thompson, a veteran of Superspeedways, has had to do it from the back due to that morning motor change for the current owner points leader here in the ARCA Remax Series.
I tell you, Jimmy's looking good right now, riding behind Patrick Shelter. We documented Patrick bringing that group up to the lead pack, and now they're passing him on the outside. This is really the first time we've seen the outside line really go, Kenny.
Yeah, but you got one of the fastest cars pulling the line too.
Patrick Shelter on the move, trying to get toward the front. Kelly Byers still holding on to the top spot. Welcome back to the ARCA Remax 250. Well, so much for that single file line we were talking about earlier. They're starting to go 2 and 3 wide around Talladega Superspeedway. Moments ago. Take a look at this contact.
Yeah, right side of your top of your screen now. A little contact between Frank Kimmel in the 44 car and the 04 of Chase Mattioli. You see a little bit of damage. Ooh, and another to John Ferrier in the 99, and the 25 of Mark Thompson made a little contact behind that.
There's another look, riding along with Frank Kimmel.
I'm just thinking that if I'm Chase, the first time I went down there and there was a car there, I might have waited just a little bit before I went down again.
Oh, smoke on the racetrack.
Oh,
and that,
tough
yeah, definitely difficult. Rob Brent in that 36. Going to bring the Orchard Chrysler Dodge Jeep Dodge to pit road, it looks like, as he's down on the apron. We're still under green flag conditions, though.
That's a different number on that car. It's number 36, but this is the same team that Justin Allgaier won the championship. Mike Allgaier, Justin's father, owns that team as we go back to the lead, and Kelly Byers.
Jim Trado, what are they talking about with that 44 team?
Well, you saw it from the onboard camera of Frank Kimmel's Menards machine. He did report that he has a tire rub. His spotter said we don't see any smoke, keep going, but Frank Kimmel very concerned about that involvement with Mattioli on the straightaway there. He said he did feel a tire rub on the right front, so we'll keep an eye on it here on pit road for Kimmel, as again he said that right front rub was not what he wanted, currently running 9.
That's John Ferrier, the 99 car, right in front of Frank Kimmel. He started back in the 26th position, and he's made a nice run up. Here's showing about 7th or 8th right now.
Well, you talk about a longtime supporter of automobile racing. I think it says Eagle RV on there. And that's the old renamed Cedar Ridge RV centers with the Barbagallo family, who've supported all different types of automobile racing throughout the country.
See that damage, a very good look at that damage on the right front corner of Frank's car. Now Mikey Kyle gets to the inside of Frank.
Yeah, Frank's kind of given up that position because he wasn't right down on the double yellow line.
Contact again between Frank in the 44 and Craig Gose in the 81.
And these bodies have been massaged over and over and over. When you come to a super speedway racetrack like Talladega Superspeedway, you've got to have these things perfect. And so he's got that damage to the right front of that car. I'm sure that's making him a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure he's more concerned about a tire rub right now. He knows that they can pull that out a little bit on the pit stop, but he's really concerned about that tire rub. Now he's going to move up to the top of the racetrack. It looks like he's going to try to go around the outside of Chase Mattioli, who's caught in the middle right now.
You know, right in front of that group, we saw the top of Patrick Shelter's car. What a run to come from the back, pull that group up of about 4 or 5 of them, and pull himself up to 6th position. Now, when he was doing that, the inside lane had started to spread out, and they had a tight group of 4 or 5 cars, so they were really able to make time. But now he's up there and he's falling in line, but that car is going to be right there at the end of the day. Mattioli's got himself a handful there when he's in the middle like that.
Well, we got to keep our eye on that too. I mean, there's been some contact between those two cars, the 04 and the 44.
83 of Grant Enfinger. He's doing a nice job running with that pack right there.
I guarantee you one thing that's going through Frank's mind right now is that if I get up here a little higher, if I do have a right front tire problem and it blows out, I'm going to hit the wall a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm a lot closer to the wall if it blows out than if I'm down on that yellow line and it blows out.
It's amazing how much momentum those cars will get if you break something in the right front corner and you're on the bottom of the racetrack. It's only about 60-70 feet wide, but it picks up speed, it seems like.
Yeah, it just changes the angle of impact so much.
Frank has dropped to the back of this second pack. Now you see the cars up in front of him running not only single file but 2 wide. Phil, you talked about this little contact there between he and the 81 of Craig Ghost.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where the 81 may not have known that they were 3 wide, and that's what's so key for a spotter here. Like Kenny said, you can obviously keep track of one car, but when you've got a car, when you got 2 cars below you, you know you can see the car next to you, and you can see the car to the outside of you. But if you're on the outside and you have 2 cars below you, you cannot see that car on the very, very bottom. That's when the spotter really comes into play.
Jim Trado, what are they talking about?
Compounding the issue of the 9-time champ, he just switched ignition boxes. It was missing at the end of the straightaway, so he and his brother Bill have just said, I'm going to switch the boxes. It was not running high because he wanted to keep the car near the fence. It was because the engine was missing and he didn't want to get run over.
Good shot of the ignition boxes right there. And you have so few of failures with the ignition boxes. This is the Mallory ignitions. They limit these teams to 8,800 RPMs, although you wouldn't even remotely come close to that here. Probably turn more like 77,000, 7,200 here with these restrictor plates. But right here, these are the ignition boxes right here. And virtually no failures whatsoever since ARCA mandated these ignition boxes a few years ago.
When Mallory came in and did that, some of the teams were kind of against it because first off, some of them were on different programs with different manufacturers, but it has been wonderful for the series. We got something going on here though. We got Patrick Shelter got that second line started, and you know he's going to take him on up there. Or try
2
to.
wide. Again, that's Kelly Byers, Justin Lofton 1 and 2. Tom Hessert, who started on the pole, sitting 3rd. 4th is Allie Owens in the 19. And then 5th is at 60 in the outside line of Patrick Shelter. And so they're trying to make that line move. Now we've got 3 wide as they're going by a slower lap car.
Yeah, that can cause some havoc too when you go by a car running about 10 miles an hour slower than you. You need to make room. The guy on the inside, when he goes around the car, needs to make room for the guy on the outside.
John Ferrier in the 99 on the outside of the 52 of Bill Baird. Then Chase Mattigoli in the 04.
There's a 25 of Mark Thompson. Remember, he followed Patrick Shelter up from the back, and now he's in the mix right here. He started at the very back. We documented with an engine change. Now he's in the mix. He's right where he needs to be.
About 11 laps away from the halfway point here at Talladega Superspeedway. Only one time have we been slowed by a caution. When we come back, more green flag racing. Last night, the International Motorsports Hall of Fame honored young Justin Allgaier, winning his first ARCA Remax Series champion. The introduction was made by 9-time Series champion Frank Kimmel. So that celebration took place last night.
Nice function. Raymond Parks, Bud Moore, Jerry Cookers, just some of the pioneers and the people in this sport that were inducted into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Still green flag racing going on here at Talladega Superspeedway. Patrick Shelter continues that outside line. It's Kelly Byers who continues to lead around this 2.66 mile superspeedway.
I'd say we're within about 10 laps probably of pit stop starting. You know, we had three pace laps early on. These guys feel like they could probably go 55 laps on the outside end, 55 laps, but we had 3 pace laps. So some of the cars probably don't feel like they can go that far. So I think we're probably inside of 10 laps from seeing some green flag pit stops.
It's going to be real close.
And remember, we also had about 5 or 6 laps of caution, so you got a little better fuel mileage in that time.
And we've got some cars that pitted on that first caution flag too. I mean, Bobby Gerhardt is one guy that pitted on lap number 9. Patrick Sheltra and Mark Thompson back on lap number 7.
Wendy Venerini.
Phil Parsons is correct. Within about 10, 11 laps, you can see these leaders coming down pit road. The alliances already being made down here on pit road. The crew chief for Justin Lofton has been talking to Mike Chaffee, the crew chief for Kelly Byers. They do plan to come down pit road together. They're pitted on the back side of pit road. If it stays green conditions, you always got to have a partner to get back out there in the draft. The 32 and the 6 plan to come down pit road together.
You know, we talked about how you avoid lap cars. That was a situation right there. They were already running 4 wide when they got to the lap car, and somehow they need to make room for him, and it looked very, very tenuous up there in the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure about tenuous, but it scared the heck out of me.
There's that 81 of Craig Gose trying to get around the 20. Steve Arpin.
You know, what really is tricky here too is to run around turn 4, try to carry as much speed as you can, and then signal to the guys that are jammed right up behind you that, oh, hey, I'm gonna pull in the pits right now. So
I'm gonna slam on the brakes.
I'm gonna slam on the brakes in front of you, but let me raise my hand and give you just a little bit of a clue.
We see Mark Thompson in the 25. He's going to try that outside line now.
He has actually got in front of the 60 of Patrick Sheltra.
Take a look at this.
Yeah, look at there. The white car on the inside is the lap down. Remember, they're already 4 wide. Now we have to make some room somehow for that car, and then it gets really, really close. Ooh, look at the contact. Steve Arpin, the 20, and Craig Gose in the 81, and the 04 Chase Mattioli.
Tell you what, Chase has been a little bit like a pinball out there today, bouncing around off a few different cars.
What happened to that single file racing we had? The whole lead pack at one time was single file.
I think everybody decided this is a lot more fun.
I think it was Patrick Sheltra that caused that to not be single file anymore.
Yeah, he kept trying to pass guys. This track is so smooth and so wide, and it's really hard to wreck here. That's why you got to get real close to your buddies to help you. You know, and once all your buddies get real close to you, then you can usually figure out a way to wreck.
So you basically, if you just put the cars on the racetrack and they sat still, they wouldn't wreck?
They'd never wreck. And you could drive, you could give them, put 2 or 3 seconds between all of them. But you get around a pile with all your buddies, that's when stuff starts happening.
So we're expecting those green flag pit stops to come up within the next 10 laps. Closing in on green flag pit stops will be around for them when we come back to Talladega. Sunning on speed, NASCAR race day hits the high banks of Talladega. Catch the whole gang as they bring you the news, driver interviews, and so much more, all live from Talladega Superspeedway. Don't miss NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Live coverage begins Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Caution has come out for the second time today. It's debris this time on lap 44.
Yeah, we're going to see some wholesale pit stops here. I think we've run far enough, close enough to halfway, that I believe this may be the only time that these guys will have to come to pit road. And it's really a shame. There's so many guys down there that are dressed up in really colorful uniforms, and they're only going to get out there one time.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not disappointed about that, though.
Well, and also, I'm sure we have a number of nationwide crew members and Sprint Cup crew members
helping out
there
some of these teams
in those ARCA teams today.
So we'll see how they do. The field, there's only just a few cars off of the lead lap. There were 26 on the lead lap when this caution came out, so there'll be 26 cars on pit road, and we'll take it down to Wendy Venturini.
Justin Lofton's crew chief reminded him, do not slide the tires, if you know what I mean. And what he means is a 2-tire stop. That's strategy for a lot of the teams here on pit road. Justin's car is handling really good. He's not moving around his hands at all. The 32 is in. Also a 2-tire stop by Mike Chaffee for driver Kelly Byers. They're packing it with fuel, and they are away. Let's head over to Jim.
4,200 to second gear, all the way down to the first pit stall for Tom Hessert, who led this race to green and sat riding in 3rd place. The call's been made. 2 cans of fuel, 1 piece of tape off the grill, no tires for Tom Hessert. They're going to try to beat out everybody else on pit road. Looks like they'll come out about 4th.
Well, Allie Owens is going to win the battle off pit road. Great work by Eddie DeHunt's team.
I think a few other people use that same strategy. We'll go fuel only, or potentially right side tires. Our Aaron's lucky dog. Goes to Stephen McCurley.
0-3 car. This was a huge break for Bobby Gerhardt too. Bobby was about 15-18 seconds behind that leader, running all by himself, so continuing to lose time, you know, on each and every lap, but now he's right up there with him.
There's the rookie Stephen McCurley getting the Aaron's lucky dog, so back a lap up. Welcome back. ARCA Remax 250 from Talladega Superspeedway. We ride along with the Ansel Menards Ford, number 44 of Frank Kimmel. He was on pit road a second time.
Yeah, second time down pit road. He's going to lose a lot of the track position. Everybody else came in the first time pit road was open on lap number 46, and this is now lap 47. Frank, there's several other cars that came in with him. As a matter of fact, Chase Mattioli just now has left pit road.
I don't think Chase Mattioli wants to get too far away from that 44. Jim Trado.
No. Well, Frank Kimmel obviously didn't want to come back down pit road, but they made the call to come down pit road the first time, did his brother Bill Kimmel, for 4 tires and fuel. They came back down because they still have a miss. They're checking the wiring up by the ignition boxes. They also looked at the gearing, seeing if there's anything loose or maybe sparking or arcing in the cockpit area, because they put the window off. They dug around in there, put the window back on, but they kind of thought they had to come down twice to make sure they could fix that problem. Wendy?
Allie Owens came off of pit road the leader, but they only got 1 can of fuel in it. She does not have enough fuel. They are worried about the fuel mileage. They are calculating it in the 19 pit stall right now. Crew Chief Jerry Pitts calculating those numbers with the fuel man. They made up some time on pit road, but it could cost them, as Kenny Schrader knows. Man, you got to get that car full. Allie Owens hopes she has enough fuel if we have another long green flag run.
I'll tell you, if we just got 1 can in, Kenny, I believe I'd have brought her back in, giving up this lead, because you're in the window now where you can make it the rest of the way. There's no sense staying out there knowing she can only run, you know, 25 to 27 laps.
Mr. Donlevy taught me when I first started, whenever you know you can finish the race from that point, you make sure you're full of fuel.
We had a few penalties on pit road. The 40, the 74, and the 29 of Mikey Kyle were speeding on pit road. And the 99 was a blend line violation. The Escape RV car of John Ferrier, who had made his way up into the top 10, will have to restart this race from the back.
Other issues taking place on pit road. The 32 of Kelly Byers, again our race leader, when the caution came out, came onto pit road. They changed the 2 right side tires, but had an issue on the right rear. You'll see a little bit longer time taken with the right rear here.
Yeah, much better to spend the time doing it right now. You see him reaching for on the ground to pick up another lug nut. ARCA Remax official right there on the spot watching. Had he not have put that lug nut back on, then he would have been black flagged for missing lug nut and been at the very back of the pack. Right now, he's going to be okay. He lost a little bit extra time, but not horrible.
There's a water bottle that obviously has been thrown out of one of the cars. Those don't just fall out, I'm pretty sure.
No, actually, you got to work to wiggle them out around the window. And that, you know, when it's one of the places where you don't have the right side window, you can just whip it over there. But yeah, you got to work to get those things out.
I always thought there's a lot of room though on the floor of the car. You can just throw it on the floor of the car.
Yeah,
you
ever had anything get caught up down around your feet though?
Yes,
oh my gosh.
I had a flashlight one time qualifying at North Wilkesboro at my feet.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So, do you think this is the wrong move for Allie Owens to stay out there knowing she doesn't have enough fuel?
It's not the move that I would do.
And it may work out for her. She may catch another caution flag, come down pit road, and everything be fine. But we had a long green flag run. We were on the verge of making green flag pit stops when we had that debris caution.
Allie Owens will bring the field to the green flag. It's back in the air. Justin Lofton right on her back bumper.
Allie has done such a great job in this race, and that team has been so good. I would hate for her to be taken out of contention over something like that. She's trying to become the first woman ever to win an ARCA Remax race.
In a stock car.
Or that's really all they run in the ARCA Remax series. But
well, I was talking more in the broader scheme of NASCAR as well. I mean, she'd love to, in one of these upper series, be the first woman to go to victory lane.
We'll let you talk for a while and try to talk your way out of it, but I just know what I heard. So
you with me?
I'm with you, Phil.
Well, we are hearing, as we laugh here, the black flag has come out for the 99 of John Ferrier. He did not start at the tail end, and that's what his penalty was. He was supposed to start at the tail end.
Yeah, that was the blend line violation. Penalty was to go to the tail end on the restart out of the longest line, which is obviously the lead lap line, and unfortunately he didn't do it. So John will be brought. We're going to battle for second. The 32 of Kelly Byers jumped underneath Justin Lofton.
We'll see if Justin Lofton is hung out to dry now in that number 6. Looks like he might have some help from Mark Thompson back there in the 25.
See Tom Hessert, Patrick Shelter lined up behind Kelly Byers. They're going to move by now. Tom Hessert looks like he has Justin Lofton cleared in third.
There goes Kelly Byers looking to the outside for the lead.
He had some momentum. He said, now's the time. I've got some momentum. Now's the time I got to do it if I'm going to do it.
Tom Hessert jumps behind Kelly Byers. That outer line right now on the move. They're going to go by Allie Owens. Let's see if they can get back down to the yellow line.
See, Kelly Byers is doing a real nice job. He recognizes the fact that Tom Hessert helped him get the lead when he jumped behind him, so he didn't pull down automatically in front of Tom Hessert. He stayed up and ran that whole front straightaway on the high side for Justin Lofton. Now Justin may be able to get by Tom Hessert as well.
And Phil, that's another thing where a very good spotter will not only clear you, but it'll clear the guy that's helping you.
That's exactly right. When you work together with somebody, you don't want to hang them out to dry.
Yeah, especially in the first part of the race.
Toward the end, it's anybody for themselves.
All bets are off.
Here we go.
Justin Lofton on the outside trying to take the lead now.
Two distinct lines right now, 4 deep.
How strong is that 32 of Kelly Byers doing it on his own on the bottom of the track?
Look at Mark Thompson get right up behind that 6 of Justin Lofton.
Here comes Justin Lofton, though. He looks like he will take the lead as they go through the tri-oval, across the start-finish line and into 1.
Take a look at that black car on the outside. Parker Kligerman, young driver, 5 starts in his career in ARCA Re Series, never finished out of the top 10. Had a great run at Rockingham last week with another top 5 finish. And look, right now he's battling for second.
Battling for second on the racetrack. He's tied for the point lead in the ARCA Re Series with Patrick Sheltra. 3 wide racing as they work their way through 3 and 4.
Ooh, Bill got a little jukey there and looked like he almost made contact with the 1 of Tom Hessert.
Yeah, I don't know what you jukey, but yeah, he was all over the place temporarily there.
Parker Kligerman on the outside line right now. Jim Trado, how are they doing?
When they came down pit road, guys, they actually came down and took 4 tires. So as much as the tires were not an issue for Tom Hessert, they thought they'd be good to go the distance. This could be the difference for Parker Kligerman running in that 77 car in the top 5. They actually did take on 4 tires and fuel with 1 small adjustment. A number of the teams are complaining the cars are running a bit hot. Kligerman just had 1 small adjustment, a bit of tape, and he's now back in the top 5. And this man has yet to finish outside the top 10 in 5 ARCA starts, guys.
Wow, Mark Thompson coming down on Bill Baird there. We saw a little contact there, a little side. That's more than side drafting, I think, when you rub sheet metal.
That's touching, I think.
You know, the Venturini car, they're running extremely good and hanging like that on the outside. They've always, well, they got good cars every place they go, but their restrictor plate stuff, you know, they've always really had good stuff here.
Here comes Patrick Shelter back in the mix. Ooh, a little contact. Allie Owens and Patrick Shelter look like they made a little contact.
Very high line up there. Joey Coulter in the 16.
Joey Coulter in the 16 this year has had a lot of speed. Has had problems getting to the end of the race with all the fenders on just because of various different reasons. But they've had a tremendous amount of speed. They're going to be around and solid all year long.
Yeah, a lot of talent with that team. Harold Holly runs that operation. No, Randy Renfo's involved with that team, so a lot of good talent for that 18-year-old driver.
Take another look. Patrick Sheltra.
Watch and see if there's a little contact with the 19 of Allie Owens. Allie's going to move up the racetrack. Patrick comes down, and they definitely made some contact. Got Patrick a little bit sideways.
This is Steve Arpin in the 20. Moving up the right side. You see the smoke come out.
Going to take a look at the onboard right. Look how sideways they got off turn 4 there.
Well, Arpin spends most of his life sideways in his dirt car, so that wasn't near that bad.
So Justin Lofton has taken the point at Talladega Superspeedway. Kelly Byers now having to look through 1 car, running second to the field. Speed's coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX Series is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Aaron's. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody. Green flag racing conditions continue at Talladega Superspeedway for the ARCA RE/MAX 250. Single file line for the top 15.
Looks like there's a lot of dicing going on, but at the end of that time, they all go back to the bottom of the racetrack.
But they'll patience will give out, and they'll grow out of that.
Just 36 laps remain as they go across the start-finish line.
Here we go, Patrick Sheltra. Looks like he's going to get underneath Mark Thompson there.
He definitely didn't. Looks like he's going to try to make the pass. Mark's hanging tough on the outside. Actually gained a little bit through 1 and 2.
That's side by side for 4th. Sheltra trying to take it away from Mark Thompson.
Nobody's going to jump up there right now to get behind Mark Thompson.
Mark really likes to get right up next to those cars.
Well, Patrick's moving up a little bit too, to try to side draft off him a little bit. Patrick wasn't right down next to the yellow line or double yellow line.
Tom Hessert just behind these two. Again, Tom Hessert started on the pole today. These two continue to try to figure out who's going to be 4th. Sheltra again on the inside and the number 60. That's Buffalo Wings and Rings on the hood of the 60 this week.
I'm hoping they get around there and get 4th or 5th, something like that, and don't get together, because they are absolutely virtually touching.
And pretty impressive for Mark Thompson to be able to run like that. Now we see Bobby Gerhart looks like he's coming up behind. Might be able to give a little assistance. Parker Kligerman behind him in the 77. Sheltra continues to move up the track.
It looked like there was a little bump drafting with Bobby Gerhart and Parker Kligerman. It looked like Bobby got a little bit sideways there on the back stretch.
Now we see Grant Enfinger in the 93 also coming into the mix.
Bobby's left rear quarter panel there.
That's from that bump drafting he had, and that's going to be almost like a parachute here. That should hurt the performance of this car, even though he's looking pretty good on the outside right now.
It will really hurt the performance of that car when he isn't tucked up behind somebody.
Wendy Venturini.
John West Townley's holding his own right now. A lot of familiar voices that I'm hearing on the scanners from today from the spotters from the Cup Garage, I have to say. And one of them is Jason Hedleski, the spotter for John West Townley today. Of course, Jason Hedleski is the spotter for Carl Edwards in the Sprint Cup Series. What's interesting about that, this chassis that John West Townley's racing today is the same exact chassis. Same exact chassis that Jason Hedleski ran 2 years ago. Patrick Sheltra is smoking.
It looks as though he might have an engine expiring. You see the smoke coming out of the headers on the right side.
Yeah, much like Ken Weaver, not quite the extent of the smoke, but similar situation. Look, a very, very close situation for John West Townley, though, that Wendy was talking about. When Patrick got slow, you see a little bit of damage. John West made contact with Patrick as he was trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack and headed straight to the ARCA garage.
Yeah, I think he knew that one was done. So hard left turn, and he goes back to the garage. Disappointing night for Patrick Sheltra as he came into this race tied for the lead in points for the ARCA RE/MAX Series.
You see that damage on the 09 of John West Townley. That's where he made contact with Patrick Sheltra. What looks like, as tight as these fenders are to the tires, it looks like that thing's going to probably cause a little tire rub.
We'll definitely have to see, but you would think so.
Again out front, Justin Lofton in the 6. Kelly Byers just behind him in the 32. That's Bill Baird running 3rd now, in good position, striking distance from the lead. Mark Thompson in the 25.
That's John Ferrier, the 99. Remember, he was penalized for not starting from the back of the pack. So he is 1 lap down now, trying to stay in position to try to get the Aaron's Lucky Dog should we get another caution flag.
There was just enough smoke from 2 cars rubbing. We've only got 30 laps left, but it's going to get dicey here with us.
See, Bobby Gerhart now has made his way up into the top 6. See the 5 car, Lucas Oil, right behind Grant Enfinger. Then Parker Kligerman right behind him. Then Tom Hessert, our pole sitter right now at the very back of that 8 car draft. Actually a 9 car draft because of the lap car. Tom's running 8.
We talked about that 5 of Bobby Gerhart with the body damage to the left rear. Anytime Bobby Gerhart is up in the top 5 or top 10, he is definitely up there to win the race. Take a look at that contact. There's your top 5. Justin Lofton leading the crew. Back there in 6, Bobby Gerhart, Lucas Oil, number 5, but it's been Justin Lofton. After the restart, Kelly Byers running second. Take a look back moments ago. The 69 of Steve Blackburn. You see the tear off, the windshield tear off, about to come off, and well, that'd be distracting.
And the problem with that is if that thing comes off, it's liable to get on somebody's grill, and then you're going to see a pretty serious overheating situation.
Yeah, but it's okay because that's one of your buddy's problems. That's not yours.
It's still hanging on there right now. But again, you take a look at the front, the hood of this car. It's got the Country Cares for St. Jude Kids logo on the hood, which has been signed by many of today's biggest country stars. Randy Owens from Alabama, Leanne Womack, Lady Antebellum, Jason Michael Carroll, She Daisy, many, many more. So a great opportunity. That's actually going to be auctioned off for the St. Jude Kids Hospital.
Great battle for second. Bill Baird now has taken over the second spot from Kelly Byers. Kelly's hung up on the outside, continuing to lose spots. The 25 of Mark Thompson's getting by. Remember, that's the lap car of John Ferrier, the 99. And then Bobby Gerhart right now would love to get by Kelly Byers and take over the 4th spot.
Let's go down to Wendy Venerini.
Well, thanks, Rick. Patrick Sheltra ended the day in Salem and Victory Lane today. The day ends here in the garage area. Patrick, it looks like it's terminal with that engine, but you were definitely giving them a show out there with that draft.
Yeah, you know, we had a real good car today. Unfortunately, the motor gave away on us there. You know, really got to thank Buffalo Wings and Wings for coming on for this race and for the remainder of the year. But, I mean, it's really unfortunate. You know, we had a win, and then to come here and have a motor go bad on us, it just really hurts us in the points.
And looking at the points, I know we're early in the season, this being the last restrictor plate race, but you were second coming into this event. It's a long season, but it's hard to make up that many points. What do you guys have to turn your focus on now?
Well, you know, we just got to focus on Kentucky now, and we just got to keep moving forward. You know, we can't let this hold us back, just like we didn't let Daytona hold us back. So we just got to keep moving forward.
Patrick Sheltra is the fighter, guys.
See that red car right there? That's actually Grant Enfinger. I was thinking that was John Ferrier, the lap down car, but that's Grant Enfinger, who is battling for position right now, running 4th.
We need to remind Patrick that today with the blown engine is by no means as good as Salem, but it's so much better than Daytona that it's not the worst day of the year so far.
Yeah, Patrick Sheltra involved in one of the most amazing accidents in Daytona to start off our year.
And that's Frank Kimmel right there, the 44, going down a lap. Obviously, Frank's problem with his ignition or whatever may be wrong with there is really got him down. Now he's lost a lap.
That was Kimmel going a lap down as the field went by. Justin Lofton continuing to lead this pack.
In trouble.
Smoke. We got another engine. It looks like Chase Mattioli in the 0-4. Looks like he may have lost an engine as well.
And the caution flag is out. That will be a huge break for Allie Owens. If they only got 1 can of fuel in, that's going to give her the opportunity to get down pit road.
So our 3rd caution has come out today. This time it's Chase Mattioli, the 2nd blown engine that's brought out a caution. Don't forget that Scene Daily and SpeedTV.com have teamed up to form the most powerful online news in NASCAR. Visit SpeedTV.com now for in-depth analysis, breaking news, exclusive features, and more. Only on SpeedTV.com. Again, cleanup on the racetrack. Chase Mattioli blowing his motor. The Aaron's lucky dog goes to the 44 of Frank Kimmel, so he will be back on the lead lap. We'll see if they can correct their problems and stay up there on the lead lap. We'll be right back with the green flag from Talladega Superspeedway here on Speed. Welcome back. ARCA Remax 250 continuing. Closing in on the final 20 laps of racing from Talladega Superspeedway, the 4th event of the 2009 season for the ARCA Remax Series. Justin Lofton still out front. Bill Baird has closed the gap now, and he is right there in striking distance of getting a win at Talladega.
Mark Thompson right now running 3rd. Remember, he had to start at the very back of the pack because of an engine change, driven his way up to 3rd.
Back there a little further in the pack, the 77 of Parker Kligerman, Jim Trado.
Guys, Parker surrendered his 9th place spot because the car was running hot. If you recall, he was running right behind Bobby Gerhardt. He elected to ride in his tire tracks. While it got too hot, he said he had to pull out half a groove, then a full groove away from the rear end of Bobby Gerhardt's car. He came down pit road a moment ago for 2 tires. You notice the grill damage. The car was running hot. They took tape off of that. They wanted to give him a better car. They said it will help you with the rear weight with the gas in. They did raise the right rear tire pressure 2 pounds as well, but I think a bit concerned here about the temperatures and that nose damage on Parker Kligerman 77. Wendy?
The 19 of Allie Owens took advantage of this caution coming down pit road at lap 71. Remember, at lap 45, they did not get the car full of fuel. They came back down pit road 2 tires. This time, the left side tires filled it with fuel. She came in 9th. Right now, she is 19th. She's going to have her work cut out for her.
But the important thing is, Wendy, she has enough fuel now to get to the end. So great break for her to get that caution flag.
And I think anybody on the lead lap right now is still in striking distance of winning this race.
Most definitely. If you're in the lead lap, you've got a good chance.
We've got 23 cars right now on the lead lap.
Let's take a recap as to what has happened today. Tom Hessert started on the pole. It was Craig Ghost with a great start, though. And Tom Hessert had to battle his way back on the first lap to get the lead. Then our first caution.
Yeah, Ken Weaver explodes an engine at the end of the backstretch down there. Had a window, side window come out for Bobby Gerhardt. They had to make an unscheduled pit stop, although they got to do it under the caution flag to replace that side window.
Rob Brent in the 36 had an engine expire on him, but the caution didn't come out there.
Tom Hessert was the early leader and led through that caution flag, and then the 32 of Kelly Byers took over.
On the pit stop, Kelly Byers again came in under our second caution as the leader, but they had to take some more time to get the right rear tire with all the lug nuts on, and so Allie Owens came off pit road as your leader.
There's a 6 right now. Justin Lofton getting by that 32 of Kelly Byers, and now Justin has maintained this lead from this point on. And you know, if Justin Lofton doesn't get past, that could be the pass for the win.
Could be, definitely.
Kelly Byers will restart this one back in the 5th position now. It's Justin Lofton, Bill Barrett, Mark Thompson, Grant Enfinger, and Kelly Byers, your top 5. After 74 laps, Lofton leading. We've had 5 different drivers out front. 3 cautions for 13 laps. 2 of the cautions have been from engines blowing up. The other one was for debris.
It's the only 2 cars out of the race right now. Very, very clean race, right? You know, so far. But obviously, we're going to have a restart, Kenny, inside of 20 laps to go. And now these guys know, and girls, that every position could really count. Business is about to pick up.
Yeah, business is going to pick up for sure right here. I think we got a little confusion about the 99 car here, if it's supposed to be starting up there or not. I think he's trying to wave some guys by him right now. Yeah, he needs to go back to the tail end of the lap down line.
So John Ferrier is going to drop back now. He was questioning that. That's why he was running side by side. And we're about ready to go back to green flag racing. He'll drop back to the inside line. He is 1 lap down to the field. That's John Ferrier. Out in front, it's Justin Lofton, and just behind him, Bill Baird. As we get down to the final 19 laps of this race, green flag back in the air.
Bill Baird's trying to help Justin get going.
That's what you're there to help your buddies. Definitely.
Good restart for that outside line. Again, those are the lead lap cars. Mark Thompson 3rd.
Is that Bobby Gerhardt jumping to the outside of Grant Enfinger? No, that's Kelly Byers jumping to the outside of Grant Enfinger.
Kelly Byers in the 32. Restarted 5th, now trying to move up to 4th.
It's a battle for the 4th spot. Bobby Gerhardt is right behind that group. Bobby's running 6th. Now he's going to pull to the inside. He's got Tom Hessert behind him.
Grant Enfinger in the 83. Kelly Byers in the 32. That's a battle for position, the 4th spot. Those 2 continue side by side around the track.
Right now, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are not quite close enough to be taken advantage, close enough to each other to be taking advantage of 4th place running side by side back there. But looks like they're closing in a little bit as far as 1, 2, and 3 to get a little closer together so they can get going, hopefully.
Working together to get back up to full speed, which is about 190 miles an hour once they get going in the draft.
Yeah, roughly 190 miles an hour. You can run a lot faster than that if you get pulled up to the draft. But when you're out there running in line like that, roughly, you know, high 188s up to 190.
Bill Baird again holding on to that second spot. Wendy, are they feeling pretty good?
Yes, they are. Lots of chatter under this caution. The 6 of Justin Lofton was worried about the 52 of Bill Baird and the 25 of Mark Thompson ganging up on him. Justin Lofton, obviously, big picture for him. His spotter said if they do get under you, meaning the 52 and the 25, remember, it's big picture for Justin Lofton. Bill Baird not going for a points race. Bill Baird desperately wants to get to victory lane and make Kenny Schrader proud, but he does have Mark Thompson not far behind him in his mirror.
I'm telling you, if I'm Justin Lofton, those guys aren't pretty much not going to get underneath me.
No, they're not going to get underneath me. They may go around me. They're not going to get underneath me. You know, Bill, like I say, only running the couple races a year. Really, we'd like to run a full schedule with him, and we're only like two years away from him getting Social Security checks, and we think that's going to be enough to help fund the car for the whole ARCA Remax series.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at Joey Coulter, the 16 car right behind Grant Enfinger in the 83. Joey's made a nice steady run here, 18-year-old. We talked about a little bit earlier. Good, strong team assembled here.
Now we see Grant Enfinger looking to the outside just a bit there. Tucks back in. He's in the red 83. Joey Coulter and Kelly Byers side by side behind him.
Phil, is this what you call business picking up right around now?
Yeah, right about now. See some cars back there trying to make it 3 wide. They know we've got 16 laps to go, and if you're running 19th right now, you're going to have to improve your position. It's going to be very difficult to win from 19th, but if you can take that car running 19th and move it up to 7th or 8th, then you've got a reasonable shot if they fan out and get 4 or 5 wide like we've seen here before to do something.
2 distinct lines, and that second line hugging right up against the right side of the inside line, trying to get the side draft off that line down on the bottom. Justin Lofton continuing to lead. Just behind him, it's Bill Baird and Mark Thompson.
So a couple cars ducked below the WO line. They did not improve their position, so no penalty there.
Now we're looking at 3 wide. Steve Blackburn in the 69. He makes the first move to try to move toward those coveted spots that you're talking about up in the top 10.
I thought the 51 of Eddie Mercer, the Mikasuki Toyota, was going to go with him, but he's going to tuck in behind Mikey Kyle in the 29 car.
Still 2 wide except for that 69 of Steve Blackburn. He's hung out now on the outside.
Joey Coulter, Kelly Byers continue to run side by side for the 5th position.
Bobby Gerhardt just behind them in the Lucas Oil, number 5. We get Bobby Gerhardt, known for his super speedway runs, 6 wins, 5 at Daytona, 1 here. Steam rolling out of one of the cars a little bit further back.
That's Craig Gose, I think, the 81 car. He was one of the cars that came down pit road on this most recent caution.
Sure enough,
he's
Craig
definitely
Gose
pushing some water out right now.
Possibly overheating. That could be very detrimental for him. He came into this race 5th in the points championship.
There's a 74, J.R. Hefner right in front of him. Park East Construction on board that car.
And look who's in the middle of this mix now. We got Frank Kimmel up there hanging with them now. Just had one lap down, got the lucky dog, and now he's able to hang with him.
Right there behind that Mikasuki Toyota, Eddie Mercer. I think it appears as though he must have got his ignition problem straightened out, because he is definitely up the pace right now.
I've never been around a team that will pit more times during a race than Frank and Bill Kimmel, but they always get something accomplished on their stops to make the car better.
That Ansel Menard's number 44. We ride along with him. Again, you mentioned Eddie Mercer in the Mikasuki 51 just in front of him.
You can see how dirty that windshield is, but over to the left it looks like they've taken a tear off and they cleaned off the half side of the windshield that Frank looks out of.
Still Justin Lofton hasn't been challenged, but again he's got some time. The time is running out for his competitors. 12 laps of racing to go when they cross the start-finish line.
The outside line is hanging in there. They're not advancing. You know, they've lost a couple spots, but they haven't gone all the way to the back of the pack. So it's going to be very, very difficult if these guys stayed lined up on the bottom like they are with Justin Lofton, Bill Baird, Mark Thompson. for that outside line to do anything with him.
Well, Ken, I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, you have to have friends to move forward at the beginning of the race, and you said no, but at the end you do. Who do you try to team up with if, for example, you're Bill Baird, to get some help to get up front?
Well, first off, we're still a good 11 laps away from worrying about that. I believe right now, if Bill was to make a move, I think you'd see him. The hole would get filled and he'd go to the back. I don't know. It's gonna. If there was one lap to go now, it's going to take somebody behind Phil to help him, because Justin's going to stay right there. Right now, something really big's got to happen to get around Justin, I believe.
This is big in the points world for Craig Goss. Ghost coming into this, he was 5th in the point standings, and he's on pit road now.
Sometimes it just takes a lap car to jumble things up. You saw everybody fan out to go around him. Maybe that'll give the outside line a bit of an advantage here. Eddie Mercer now has jumped to the inside. Remember, he was on the outside. Now he's on the inside line, so he found him a hole.
Kelly Byers in the 32, the leader of that outside line, Jim Trado.
Well, Craig Ghost did get out of line because the car was running hot. He came down pit road, said the needle's pegged, guys. They've got the water hoses out, but I believe they turned the motor off. I believe he cooked it, guys. The race is over for Craig Ghost, again running for Eddie Sharp, hopefully all season long here in the 81 car.
Little contact. Eddie Mercer in the 32 of Kelly Byers made some contact. We saw the smoke fly.
That's that whole business thing.
It's picking up.
It's picking up.
Inside of 10 laps of racing to go here at the 2.66 mile super speedway of Talladega.
Mikey Kyle doing a nice job in that Grease Lightning Chevrolet for Brett Keselowski.
Frank Kimmel now leading the pack on the outside.
What do we got here?
Smoke coming out of the 25 of Mark Thompson. Could his engine be blowing?
Or do we have a tire rub?
We saw smoke out of the 25. Still a little smoke coming out of the back.
Right front, you see a little tire mark right behind that right front tire, so he's obviously made some contact with somebody. Get down in the corner when that loads that right front, it sees a little bit more smoke.
Grant Enfinger just behind him in the 83. Oh, problems. That one was a very close one, it looked like, for Joey Coulter.
We're inside of 10 laps to go now.
You know what? I'm a whole lot better at driving these things than watching these things. Oh my gosh.
Take a look at the bottom of your screen.
Watch
this was
the 51.
earlier.
Watch the 51 of Eddie Mercer. He's going to move up a little bit. He's going to make some contact with the 32 of Kelly. Oh, trouble.
Problems. That's Bobby Gerhart in the 5. The 09 of John West Townley. The 74 also involved in this, J.R. Hefner.
There's the 40 of Troy Rangren. He gets hit by a very crippled Bobby Gerhart in that 5 car.
You know what? I'm curious to see what happens there.
That was a shot of the Venturini pits. Looks like Mark Thompson may be sitting on pit road. A lot of damage to that 74 car, J.R. Hefner.
Frank Kimmel just came by in 3rd.
We thought it was tire rub that was going on with the 25, but he's on pit road.
Yeah, there's a 25, and I don't know that was there a problem with the 25? What caused that, Jim? Jim
Guys,
Trado.
I'm not really sure. The hood's up on the car. The Toyota that pulled in right behind him, Craig Ghost, was complaining about overheating. This Toyota was not in that issue. I think Mark Thompson's issue may be more terminal. I don't see water. I smell oil coming out as they pop the hood here in the Venturini pits.
I'm sure we'll get a look at it. I didn't know if when Mark Thompson had to make his way to pit road, maybe the guys behind him trying to avoid him may be what caused that incident. See a lot of damage to Bobby Gerhart's Chevrolet.
Again, the 5, the 40 involved in this. The 74. Take another look.
Oh, the contact right there between the 51 of Eddie Mercer and the 5 of Bobby Gerhart.
Does the 5 checking up though for something?
He may have been checking up for the 25, possibly Mark Thompson, because it looks like he was slowing down and actually moved to the inside, and Eddie was there.
Here we go.
There's another view. See, they're checking up in front, and Bobby backed off a little bit and had moved. They were checking up for the 25 of Mark Thompson. When that engine finally looked like it expired, then Mark was slowing down, and everybody was taking evasive action to get around that 25. And it looked like Bobby got off the throttle, moved up the racetrack a little bit, And when he came back down, that's when he made the contact right there with the 51.
The 25's engine problem,
Yep.
and he was doing everything he could do. He was at the bottom of the racetrack checking up.
Disappointment, Eddie Sharp Racing.
Yep. Justin Laughlin, they did not want to see another caution. So you're so vulnerable on a restart. Did not want to see that. Obviously, we're inside of 10 laps to go. We will have a single file restart.
When they run so close together here on the super speedways, we always talk about the big one happening, and it just takes one little element to trigger what just happened. This Thursday, the Bull Run season finale will blow you away. 3 teams face off for over $200,000 in cash and prizes in the most exciting series finale ever. It's winner take all on the season finale of Bull Run, Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed. Red flag has been displayed as they clean up what took place in turn number 4, coming out of 4 and just in front of pit road. So you see the cars parked on the backstretch right now as they still try to clear up some of the cars involved in this most recent caution, the 4th one of the day. We've had some close calls today.
There's
Chase
contact
Mattioli.
right there. Frank Kimmel, the 44-04 Chase Mattioli coming off turn 4. There's the 81 of Craig Gose in the 44 of Frank Kimmel.
Patrick Sheltra.
20 of Steve Arpin, the 81 of Craig Gose, avoiding a lap car. And there's Patrick Sheltra involved again with Allie Owens. There's a 20 of Steve Arpin, another one of those little twitches. And then when the 60 of Patrick Sheltra blows an engine, he makes contact with the 09 of John West Townley.
Lap 85, this incident took place. Eddie Mercer in the 51, the 5 of Bobby Gerhardt, John West Townley, J.R. Hefner all involved, as well as that 40, Troy Wangren.
Just a situation where the 25 of Mark Thompson blew an engine and was making his way to pit road. He had his left sides down below the double yellow line, but these guys, so many of them are running so close together. You know, that's what we worry about when all of a sudden someone's going to be slowing down. You have to make room for them. And unfortunately, Bobby and the 51 of Eddie Mercer got together.
Jim Trado now with the driver of the number 25.
Managing his smile after running from the back to the lead pack, Mark Thompson. That's unfortunate the motor let go on you. Is that the issue?
That was the issue. The motor let go. I think we might have we started in the back because I think we heard it a little bit on qualifying, so we changed some seals on it, but we didn't change the motor, and I think maybe it lasted 220 miles.
When you came off the banking, you said you were at full throttle. The cars behind you just checked up in an instant. You're a veteran of this kind of racing. How crazy was it out there?
It was a little bit crazy, but you know, it was pretty reasonable. Everybody was pretty reasonable.
Again, reflecting on his engine, just to clarify, it was not an engine change. They ended up changing a lot of things in the top end of the motor this morning that put him to the back of the field. Unfortunately, that motor, he thinks, was the cause of the issue. That not changing the motor cost him the finish.
Well, disappointing. They ran so strong early on in this one. Again, we're under a red flag condition as they clean up the racetrack coming out of turn number 4 and right before the entrance to pit road. That's where we had about 5 cars involved in this incident. So the field sitting on the backstretch waiting to complete the final 7 laps here at Talladega Superspeedway. It will be exciting. You don't want to leave your seat. Welcome back. 5 days ago, we were at Rockingham, North Carolina, where we see that 52 driven by Ken Schrader was out in front until 3 laps to go. And Kenny runs out of fuel. That allows the 25 driven by Sean Case to come home our winner. The most recent winner in the series.
Sean ran a handful of races last year, ran extremely well, and this is his first opportunity to get to victory lane. But Kenny, man, what another quarter gasoline would have done for you.
It would have probably changed the outcome of the day, but you know, the ARCA series did a phenomenal job there. I think we only had 5 yellows
5 cautions
that whole day. Didn't tear up a lot of stuff, and that Sean Case, he's helped us some on our East program. Really proud of that kid. And I was talking to a one of those big-time Cup owners day that was asking me some questions about him. So
That's great.
he's got a bright future in this sport.
Very good. Obviously a good catapult situation for Sean Case to make his career a little more prominent in stock car racing. We'll be back for the green flag. Up next on Speed, the work week has ended, and it's time to get fired up for a huge NASCAR weekend on Speed. Don't miss the biggest names in NASCAR as they stop by for a Friday night house party. NASCAR Trackside from Talladega coming up next. NASCAR on Speed. Be there. Still red flag conditions as they continue the cleanup in 4. And onto the front stretch. I want to take a look at our lap leaders for today's race.
Right now, Justin Lofton is trying to pass Kelly Byers. As you can see, Kelly Byers 36 laps led. Justin Lofton will definitely lead 36 because he's going to bring the field back around behind the pace car, or pace truck. So he will at least tie him. And then when we restart this race, we're going to be inside of 10 laps to go. And wow, is it going to get big.
We showed James Harvey Hilton as a lap leader there. He snuck in there for a lap. Brian Silas leading a lap. You see that bright yellow Ansel Ford back there of Frank Kimmel,
who 20 laps ago was a lap down.
And completely out of contention.
Completely out of contention.
His successes are unmatched on the racetrack. So many wins in this series, the ARCA Remax series. 74 career wins, 9 series championships.
And we saw Bobby Gerhardt, who was involved in that incident just a few moments ago. Bobby, the king of restrictor plate racing here lately in the ARCA Remax series. 6 wins, 5 of them at Daytona, 1 of them here at Talladega, as you can see.
Yeah, let's compare the veterans. I mean, we're talking about super speedway veterans in Bobby Gerhardt and Frank Kimmel. You look at career wins, all of Bobby Gerhardt's wins have come on super speedways. So all 6 of his career wins compared to the 74 by Frank Kimmel.
Yeah, he's won 73 at other places.
Yeah.
So he's won a lot of races, just closing in on Iggy Katona for the all-time series lead. And there's one guy in this field today that has won at this racetrack. Not in ARCA Remax series. He actually won in the Sprint Cup series back in the day. Do you know
Other
who it is?
than these two?
Other than these 2 guys right here.
Oh.
Even older than them two.
Well, maybe Trado will know. Trado, do you know who the other driver that's in the field that's won on this racetrack?
No, I don't.
James
Richard Brickhouse.
James Harvey Hilton.
Bill, do you know who might have won on this racetrack that's in the field today? You know anybody?
It's been so long, I think I've forgotten who that was. It's been a long time since we won one, but more importantly, it's been a while since we started a race where we could see the pace car, and that was a start for us today that we were really proud of. So no, we've had a good day.
We're hanging with Bill Kimmel for a moment because you guys went down a lap. What happened? What put you in that position to get the lucky dog to get back in the top 5?
Well, Frank hit pit road, and nobody knew he was coming down pit road, but we cut a left rear tire. You know, and I'm not a favor of the lucky dog, and I should say the Aaron's lucky dog deal. But today I was a big favor of the Aaron's lucky dog. We got the lucky dog, got back on the lead lap, and you know the car is I'm going to say it's Ansel glove tough because the Ansel Menard's Ford is fought back up, and now we're back to I think 5th place right now on the restart. So you know it's still got a lot of racing left on us today. Had a good day. You know we fought back and forth. We've had a little bit of an ignition issue. We have late model boxes in it because they're adjustable, and I guess we had them adjusted a little bit too low, and Frank was hitting the chip, so we had to come in and adjust him back up. Took care of that problem, and we fought ourselves back up then we had a tire issue. Continued to fight back up, and I think we got a pretty good race car right now.
With a top 5 run, this is what the championships are made of, and that's why they've got 9 of them. Wendy?
Well, thanks. I'm with Mark Rett, the crew chief for Justin Lofton. Mark, we saw your reaction. You did not want to see that caution come out. Were you worried about Justin? Are you going to be worried about Justin on this restart?
Well, I mean, whatever happens, happens. He's done a great job all day long, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure he's more nervous than I am. Everyone on this team's done an awesome job all weekend. We weren't really happy with our qualified effort in 4th, and felt like we could have sat on the pole. Might have caught a little wind, but, you know, I told these guys the pit stop was the way to win this race, and they got him out in front of that 32, and we've held it so far.
I heard under that last caution, Justin was a little bit worried about the 52 and the 25 ganging up on him. You don't have to worry about the 25, but the 52 is still a factor. What is the strategy? I'm sure you're going to tell me all of your secrets right now.
The biggest thing is he's gonna paint that yellow line. The 25 was really strong, and he gave the 52 a couple good shoves. I don't know about the 52. I mean, he's here for this race. We're here for the points, you know. Frank's behind him, and Frank and Justin have a good relationship, so even if he does make a move, hopefully Frank stays with us.
All right, good luck to Mark Redd. It is kind of scary, guys, because you have a guy out front running for points, big picture, and Bill Baird, Schrader Racing, going for a win.
So Justin Lofton and Bill Baird will restart this race 1 and 2 when they throw the green flag. Again, they're trying to get the track as clean as possible before they roll the cars around. We're under red flag condition after this incident took place on lap 86. Eddie Mercer, Bobby Gerhardt involved, as well as a 74 of J.R. Hefner. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Cars are rolling once again as we're closing in on the final laps here of the ARCA Remax 250. Again, the caution came out for the 4th time when the 25 was coming onto pit road, a blown engine, and the field began to check up, and some didn't slow down as quickly as others, and that got a couple of cars turned around, one being the 5 of Bobby Gerhardt. So Justin Lofton will lead the field to the green flag. Pit road is open if anyone wants to take advantage of pit road right now. I don't think it would be a good call.
Let's see if we can talk to our leader, Justin Lofton. Hey, Justin, Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. You got a copy?
Go ahead.
Justin, you've had a great run so far. You've got a lot of strong cars right behind them. Is the restart going to be the most critical part of the rest of this race, you think?
I think it's going to be, as long as I don't let them get too far behind me and get a run on me. I've got a really good car. You know, this car was built to lead races and win races, and you know, hopefully that's what it's going to do for me today.
Well, Justin, you've done a terrific job here. It looked like that 32 car of Kelly Byers was real strong, but you were able to get by him to take the lead, and no one's been able to get back by you.
Yeah, 10-4, the 25 car gave me a real good push on the outside going into 3, and like I said, this car likes to lead races and win races, and it just, you know, got right to the front, and hopefully it's going to stay there.
All right, buddy, you've done a great job so far. Finish it off.
Thank you.
Justin Lofton on the season, a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 22nd at Rockingham. Sat on the pole at Daytona, won the pole at Salem, and again 3rd and 2nd in those 2 races where he came home. Justin Lofton coming into this race and 3rd in the points position.
We're probably going to have about 3 laps here, Bill. We get it next time around.
Hey, Bill, this is Kenny Schrader up in the TV booth. You got us?
Okay, sounds good. Have to go, right?
Hey, Bill, this is Kenny Schrader up in the TV booth. You got us?
Man.
Well, what do you think? You got anything for the 6 car there, or are you just more worried about protecting what you got?
Okay, we're going to keep this side protected, man.
Okay, well, you just bring that thing home in one piece if there's any way possible. But if you get an opportunity, you know, to be like cautiously real aggressive, you go for it, buddy.
Okay.
He's hearing the owner, not the TV broadcaster right now. He's like, okay, whatever you say, I'll protect it. Okay.
He said, just please get off this radio quick.
Oh, my goodness. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Ken Schrader up in the booth today. Jim Trado and Wendy Venturini down on pit road. Looking forward to the final 4 laps of racing from Talladega Superspeedway when we return. Welcome back. The field rolling around this racetrack, expecting the green flag when they come back by the start-finish line. There will be 3 laps of racing to go. It is Justin Lofton in front of Bill Baird. We talk about youth in front of age or veteran drivers, that's the epitome right there.
Sure is. And I'm telling you, this restart, as we talked to Justin a few moments ago, is going to be so critical. You know, he talked about not wanting to get too far out in front of Bill Baird so they would have momentum. So it's a fine line. You don't want to get too far in front, but you also don't want to not get going where they can just drive by you as soon as they get to the start-finish line.
The only thing he's worried about right now is just being a little bit in front in 3 more laps. You know, I mean, it's bottom line, but definitely you don't want that big restart right now.
The pace truck is off the racetrack. He's made his way to pit road. Now it's Justin Lofton. 3 laps around the 2.66 mile Superspeedway. He wants to come up to speed. Oh, we got problems behind him. Everybody spinning around as they're all checking up behind him. They gave him the green flag.
Yeah, which is smart. Now they need to throw the caution flag right back out. We have a car sitting sideways on the racetrack. Looks like he's able to continue. Steve Blackburn. He rolled off. No, he's taking his window net down.
So the green flag came out. They didn't want to throw the caution when everyone was anticipating the green.
Yeah.
Caution has come out now, so they'll see the lights on the racetrack. They'll be able to slow down in a cautious fashion.
I think that's a great call by the ARCA officials to go ahead and throw the green flag because everybody up front was expecting it.
There's that caution we're talking about.
If you would have came on the radio and said we're going next time right there, it could have caused a big problem because everybody was geared up on tilt, ready to go.
Looks like the left rear tire flat for Terry Jones in that number 30.
Terry's another one of the cars on the lead lap. He crossed the line in 10th. But unfortunately, he's going to have to make a pit stop. He's doing a good job there slowing down to not tear up the fenders. We're going to see some. Somebody got in the back. The two got in the back of the 69, but we don't know that the 48 didn't get in the back of the 2. Just one of those chain reaction deals. And unfortunately, Steve Blackburn in the 69, the 2.
Right along with
unfortunately going to pay the price. You could hear Tim George get hit from behind and it actually picked the rear wheels off the ground. So somebody behind Tim George hit him. I'm not sure why the 69 of Steve Blackburn stopped, and I don't know why he got out of the car. That car should have been able to continue, I would think, unless it broke a drive shaft or something like that.
Okay, we just completed 92 laps. So 93, it means 94 earliest we get the green.
Yes.
And we pitted when. Could fuel factor in here, Phil?
Well, I don't think so. We've had enough caution laps, Kenny. I think that we probably, you know, we thought the outside of the window might be 55 laps.
Yeah.
Everybody started on pitted on lap number 46. Or 47.
It's just a real touchy subject for me right now. I was
going to say, you're trying to bring somebody in the boat with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring someone in the boat with me, help row.
Oh, Kenny, we feel for you. Looking for that first Rockingham win 5 days ago. And fuel became an issue. Pit road will be open. We don't expect anyone to come down pit road. Now, the distance that they were going to run was 94 laps. That was going to be the advertised distance, but they will have a green-white checkered because they never took the white flag under competition. So while we're under caution, we're going to go past the 93rd lap, which would normally we would see the white flag, but they will do a restart with at least 2 laps to go.
And remember now, if the caution flag were to come out again before the white flag is displayed, then we would have another restart.
Yeah, they will make sure that they are under green flag conditions or race conditions when the white flag comes out. And if they don't get the checkered flag under race conditions, they will restart with 1 lap to go. So as soon as they get the white flag, it's at least 1 to go.
If we get too many of them, Kenny, then you may have some of those people in the boat with you on the fuel side.
Well, we're just now pushing that car off the track. There's another safety truck up there, so let's see if we could possibly get 1 to go this lap.
They may be able to give them 1 to go when they come through here. They know they have plenty of time to get the safety vehicles off the racetrack.
It takes almost 3 minutes to go around here, and we'll see if they're going to signify to the drivers 1 to go or if they'll send them around again.
No.
Send them around.
Yep, going to send them around again. They did not get 1 to go.
So, if you're Justin Lofton, do the nerves begin to get even more on edge, knowing you've got Bill Baird right behind you, and Grant Infinger, and Mikey Kyle, and Kelly Byers? We haven't said Mikey Kyle's name too much.
No, he's really done a nice job. Brad Keselowski, I know, is going to be on top of the pit box. He owns that team right there. Grease Lightning sponsors it. They run a combination of the ARCA Series and also some of the Camping World Truck Series races.
Green, white, checkered. When we come back to Talladega Superspeedway, can Justin Lofton hold on and get that first win of the season? We'll find out. Up next on Speed, you don't want to miss it. Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip, all stars and guests on NASCAR Trackside from Talladega. That's coming up next right here on Speed.
Do you think they're going to have Jeff Gordon on at the same time with Michael Waltrip?
I think they should try.
You know how,
make for good TV.
How smart that's going to make Jeff Gordon sound sitting next to Mikey?
Well, now,
I hope Mikey's listening.
If you put them together,
I know Mikey's listening.
If you put them together and it averages out, well, then would they both be just, you know, halfway smart then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, Michael said, you need to say Mikey Kyle Moore. He said, that's a fun name.
Well, we're getting ready for this restart. These guys are just about to enter the trial. Well, remember, the start-finish line is way down towards turn number 1. Right about here, just a little bit farther down, is when we had the big problem just a few moments ago. Chain reaction deal that cost several guys a good finish, but Justin Lofton right now has got Bill Baird right behind him. Going to be 2 laps to go, Rick.
2 to go. Everyone on their feet. Green flag in the air. Justin Lofton, Bill Baird, 1 and 2 as they cross the start-finish line.
Boy, a nice job by Justin Lofton getting going. He's got about 2 car lengths on Bill Baird. He doesn't want much more than that, does he, Kenny?
No, but Bill also needs someone jammed up behind him. I mean, that was kind of like the start we saw a couple times ago when the 3 of them got away. I think Bill needs to worry about the guys coming up behind him, but they also might be able to give him enough of a push.
Grant Enfinger in that 83 coming up right behind Bill Baird. Now he's got to run. Let's see what he does.
Got a little momentum going there. They actually pulled away from the 83 of Grant Enfinger.
Up at the front, here's your top 5. Justin Lofton just in front of Bill Baird, Grant Enfinger. Running back there in the 29, Mikey Kyle and Kelly Byers is your top 5. Across the start-finish line this time, the white flag will go in the air one more time around Talladega Superspeedway.
Been really impressed with a couple guys up there. Ooh, a little contact right there. More contact.
Trying for the final positions. 2 and 3 wide as they enter turn number 1. Now a battle going on between Frank Kimmel and Parker Kligerman back there for the 5th spot.
Really been impressed with that 83 car. Grant Enfinger had a good run going last week, had a tire problem late, and Mikey Kyle doing a terrific job as well.
Justin Lofton holding off the field. Coming through 3 and 4. Can he hold off Bill Baird for the final less than a mile here at Talladega Superspeedway? Out of turn number 4. The fans are on their feet. Does Bill Baird have anything for Lofton? Will Lofton get his first win in the ARCA Remax Series? Across and through the tri-oval and to the finish line. Justin Lofton wins at Talladega.
What a nice job by Justin Lofton holding off Bill Baird on that restart. He got about 3 car lengths and really didn't let Bill get any closer than about 1 car length.
Well, that car was really good, but I have been real impressed with Justin and that whole Eddie Sharp team this year because he has been solid everywhere and really has showed a lot of savvy as far as the choices that he's made on the racetrack.
We knew that he could win. He won last year at Michigan and backs it up here in 2009 with a big win at Talladega.
It was only a matter of time in 2009 after a 3rd place finish at Daytona, 2nd at Salem. A little rougher ride at Rockingham, but back into victory lane for Justin Lofton. Let's go down to Wendy Venerini.
On the radio as he crossed the start-finish line, it was comments of Speedway racer for Justin Lofton. Congratulations to Mark Rett, crew chief. How are you feeling?
Oh, I tell you what, I've been part of a lot of Cup wins, a lot of nationwide wins, but this one definitely means the most. I got 5 guys, on my team. They work their butts off. This kid's awesome. Someone needs to pick this kid up. This kid is really good. Definitely got to say, Matt, sorry, man. One of our guys is down, and he's in the hospital. Man, we need you back. Get better. This one's for you, buddy.
All right, it's time to go celebrate.
Justin Lofton stopping at the start-finish line. I'm sure he'll want to grab that checkered flag.
Terrific job by that young driver out of California. I think he's hooked up, still can't quite get unhooked there for a minute.
His only previous win coming, as you mentioned, at Michigan a year ago. This is win number 2 for Justin Lofton in the ARCA Re Series. He will treasure that checkered flag. His first super speedway win.
Car looks pretty clean too. Not a whole bunch of tire marks or anything like that on it. Did a nice job.
Well, I think the ARCA series did a good job today. All the drivers did. Versus, you know, I mean, we had a rough start at Daytona, and I know they had a pretty aggressive drivers meeting as far as Mr. Drager told them that he wanted to see a clean race.
So Justin Lofton will celebrate win number 2 here at Talladega Superspeedway. And I think an impressive run for Bill Baird.
Well, we're definitely happy, and I'm sure Bill would like to win. I know Bill likes to win a lot, but it's solid, it's in one piece, and we can work on it and bring it back.
Or Grant Enfinger with a great third-place finish, career best for him. Mikey Kyle finishes 4th, also career best. And Frank Kimmel, who was down and out, a lap down, parlayed the lucky dog into a top 5 finish, and that's what wins championships.
Frank Kimmel looking for his 10th championship. Justin Lofton maybe in line for his first championship in the ARCA Re Series. The win coming here at Talladega Superspeedway. Welcome back. Justin Lofton running over to grab the checkered flag. His celebration began as he drove back in front of the grandstands and headed to victory lane, where that celebration continues here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's go to Wendy Venturini in victory lane.
Daytona it was 3rd, Salem it was 2nd. Today it's a win for Justin Lofton. Victory lane here at Talladega. He is a super speedway winner. Justin Lofton taking home the checkers. Congratulations, what a great run. Getting more Gatorade from your crew chief, Mark Red. It's okay, it'll wash out.
Hey, it's all right. It's you know, my new Sparko suit. Oh well, Sparko make me a couple more. Matt, this one's for you, man. I should have had it last weekend, but you know, wish you can be here. Be here with us soon. The whole Lofton Cattle crew is just phenomenal. You know, this is 4 races too late. We should add this one in Daytona. But I just can't say enough. I mean, we had an awesome car, awesome race, and glad to be here.
Your emotions were probably running high. The red flag, then we got back to racing. Take us through that last lap, because I know throughout the race you were worried about the guys behind you.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of picturing what Justin Allgaier did to Joey in the last October race. But you know, we had a good car. I knew that wasn't going to happen to us. You know, number 6 car really deserves to be in victory lane.
Ooh. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh. I'm speechless right now.
Justin, talk us through everything else that has happened here. Your team has gone through a lot, getting Eddie Sharp Racing to victory lane today, and now the big picture points, because that was what they put into your head throughout this whole race. Big picture, you gained on Patrick Sheltra today.
Exactly. The only way to go big picture racing is to gain the most, maximum points, and maximum points are being in victory lane, leading the most laps. So that's what the number 6 Lofton Cattle, the SR Toyota Camry did today.
Justin Lofton, his first Super Speedway win at Talladega. Jim?
And the difference from last October till now, Joey Logano was passed on the final lap by the 2nd place car, Justin Allgaier, to win that race. We're standing by with 2nd place Bill Baird today. Bill, what was the missing ingredient to get around the leader?
I just need somebody, another car to push me there at the end. Me and the 1st place car, you know, I told he was strong, but we could run with him all day out here. And Mark Thompson got behind me a couple times and gave me some push, and I made runs on him, but we just never could get a real consistent push off of it. And then 83 car, I thought he was going to help me there at the end, but we were just a little bit faster than he was. And, you know, hey, I'll take 2nd place at this racetrack anytime.
And your car owner was also very happy this car's in one piece versus the one you brought back from Daytona.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last 2 times we was running like 3rd or 4th or 5th, and got the car wrecked. And I told him, I said, I'm going to put this sun gun up front today early, because I don't want to be back there running again. And I want to say hello to my friends back in Kentucky and my friends down in Florida watching today. Carl, your hair's coming off, and here's the deal.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure, baby. No pressure.
A smiling man who gets to race twice here and does a fine job of it here on the Super Speedways in the ARCA Series. Bill Baird ends up 2nd today.
You know, that looked like a scuba diver, and I think when you have no pressure in scuba diving, isn't that bad?
I don't know, but I don't know much about scuba diving, but I know that there's a lot of enthusiasm in that man.
Oh, yeah. Bill Baird coming home 2nd today to right there. Justin Lofton hoisting the trophy up in victory lane. here at Talladega. His second career win in the ARCA Re Series, and now moving toward the top of the point standings, also for the 2009 season. And again, next up on speed, it is NASCAR Trackside from Talladega. The guests tonight, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, and Michael Waltrip. You won't want to miss it. Justin Lofton in victory lane, continuing the hat dance, the celebration. He's going to grow accustomed to that, I believe, this season, as he has been extremely strong. In the top 10 today, 4 finished with career bests, and one of those is Grant Engfinger. He is with Jim Trado.
And Grant really came on the scene last race at Rockingham. Just one start a year ago at Toledo. And Grant, tell us how this car came together and the fine run you had. You didn't do a whole lot of changing during the race, so you had to get your stuff right in the shop, right?
No, we did. We worked hard. About 6 weeks ago, we put this deal together with Beasley Island to be able to race here in my home state of Alabama. Got to appreciate those guys. And anyway, just a bunch of volunteers come up from Alabama to help us fit the car. And then me and Craig McCrimmon worked hard on this car. You know, this and our Rockingham car. Don't know how many more opportunities we'll get this year, but I appreciate Maui Showers and everybody coming on board, making this day special.
This is a whole new animal for you. What did you learn today about Superspeedway racing, Grant?
I wish I could tell you. You know, the first row drafting experience was there, the drop of the green flag. Found out real quick. David Reagan told me to stay on the bottom. You know, you're not going to make much happen on the outside. So definitely learned that. Didn't really do much passing ourselves. Kind of stayed in line. You know, just had a great run.
Grant Enfinger comes home third today. Wendy?
Mikey Kyle, a guy that I think we maybe overlooked a little bit of how well you were going to be today. 4th here at Talladega. A great run for the Keselowski team.
Yeah, the Grease Lightning Chevrolet was really awesome. I'd like to thank everybody at Hendrick Motorsports for building us awesome engines. Got a little pit road penalty at the beginning. Thought it would hurt us. Got the top groove going a little bit and didn't know how well it was going to work, but we had some people able to come to the top with us and able to work our way back up the front and make a good showing.
Is this ARCA series, is this something that allows people to showcase their talent, so to speak? This is hard, these super speedway races, and you definitely showcased your talent today.
Yeah, I think it's tough, but I think to get the experience on the 1.5 mile and the 2 mile and 2.5 mile racetracks, you need to be here and race these cars and feel the draft and everything like that, and just get the experience.
All right. Congratulations to Mikey Kyle. That's for Michael Waltrip. We love to say his name. Let's head over to Jim Trado.
Frank Himmel comes home 5th today. Frank, real quick, what happened on that tire going down?
I don't know, but I heard it pop, and I was coming down pit road. I was trying to get slowed up, and the Ansel went hard forward. Lucky we didn't wreck right there, but got on pit road, didn't speed, and the guys did a great job getting changed because I didn't have time to tell them until I was coming down pit road.
How about this for the championship run? This has a lot to say about your guys.
Well, I mean, this is a very important race for us to lay the groundwork. We've had a couple of good solid finishes now, and our equipment's in good shape, so we can start racing a little bit harder now.
Frank Himmel certainly back in the championship hunt with this run.
Wow, racing a little bit harder?
I tell you what.
Look out competition.
He's going to have to race real hard because that 6 car is going to be there all year long.
Very strong for Justin Lofton. Very strong start to the 2009 season.
It really has been. I'll tell you right now, though, Parker Kligerman, that 18-year-old driver, has taken over the point lead. And right now, Justin Lofton has moved to within 15 points of that lead right now.
So Justin Lofton, we believe, in second unofficially in the point standings behind Parker Kligerman. But today, he stood in victory lane at Talladega Superspeedway. Justin Lofton, your winner.